Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Shiro here coming with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Daenerys Stormborn from Game of Thrones. Well, Daenerys Targaryen, sorry. And why I really didn't like this character. So for those of you who are just wondering, I'm just going to go based on the TV show, not the books. I don't read. Every time I open a book, I just fall asleep. So the story we're going to talk about is Daenerys. She is one of the final Targaryens in this TV show. She is in Pentos at the start of. Is she in Pentos? Kind of forgot. In the start of the TV show, she is in the books, I think 14. I think in the TV show, she's like 18 or something. Please ignore the dogs in the background. So it is her and her brother, and they are in hiding because of the whole history with the Baratheons overthrowing them and Robert becoming king of the Seven Kingdoms. They were forced to flee for their own safety. It's kind of like classic, you know, disinherited children because of some kind of war, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. For those of you who've watched the TV show, you guys already know the story. And so when Viserys, her brother, dies, she becomes next in line, the only Targaryen in the TV show, in the beginning, to take over the Seven Kingdoms. She goes on this big mission after she loses her husband to regain the Seven Kingdoms. And we follow her story. She frees some cities. She she gets rid of the slavery in these cities. And she does this with this notion of getting back to her city and being told, getting back to her country, sorry, not city, and being told that the people of Westeros are raising glasses for their return, for the Targaryen return, and she has 3 dragons to help her along this journey, and the false hope that people want her back. Apparently, according to the story, she knows that her father, Aerys Targaryen, was known as the Mad King, and that he was a terrible ruler. He was killed by another powerful family, a member of the powerful family called the Lannisters. Jaime Lannister was the golden child of this, like, one of the most brutal Lannisters there, called Tywin. And I'm trying not to make this whole summary because I get lost in my own thoughts sometimes. So basically, Daenerys lost her entire family because of the Lannister family in her mind, and to an extent she's not wrong. However, when you hear the entire story of what Jaime, or why Jaime killed her father, you become a little more empathetic. Her father, the Mad King, was going to kill everybody, and he just wanted to burn the entire city, and he just wanted to kill everybody. So Jaime, there's 2 ways you can see it. One way is Jaime did it to save thousands of people in the Red Keep and in King's Landing. You can also argue that he did it to save his father, because apparently, according to him, when he confronts his father, he said that the Mad King also asked for his father's head. Now, there was this whole civil war. I'm sure there's so many other videos that can talk to you about the background. And I'm not really one to talk about it because, again, I get lost in my thoughts and I want to stay focused on why I don't like Daenerys as a character and why I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. So one of the main reasons why I think she was a terrible character to begin with is that she has no background in being a leader nor a queen of an entire country. So her claim is solely based on the fact that she is a Targaryen. And I feel like, yes, she may be young, and yes, her ideas are great, but it's like, come on now. You need to know how to run a country, how to dictate, well, not dictate, but how to lead people. Just saying you want to free slaves isn't enough. I mean, when you look at it from the outside, you're going into a city. As you can see in Marine, she went to the city. She wanted to get rid of all the slaves. She wanted to give everybody the freedom, but then she didn't give any plan for them to actually become free people. This is a city that had slavery for thousands of years, and people who didn't know any better. And it's not to say that you cannot free slaves. It's a very beautiful thought, but you need a plan. What are you going to do? She literally just cut off the chains and just let them go. And these people don't know any better. And in the TV show, a lot of people miss this, but they went back into like indentured servitude or slavery because they didn't know what to do with their newfound freedom. And she didn't seem to care, in a sense. Oh, I would say she cared a little bit, but she didn't care enough to do a thorough investigation of what do I do from here? How do I give these people a new foundation for themselves? How do I lead them into a better future for themselves? She just let them go and just let them run around. And apparently, according to her, that was her experience enough to become the leader of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, again, I'm not knocking on her desire to be a fair and just ruler. I'm not. Because, again, everything she wanted to achieve was beautiful, but she needs to learn how to achieve that. And that's why I think she was just a terrible leader, because she, not once from what I saw, did she realize she needs to do something better for herself. And then later on, as she continued being this, I don't know, person that people were worshiping, she really allowed it to get to her head. She allowed it to inflate her ego. And that was something that really pissed me off, because in the beginning, I think it had to do more with being naive and being young and not being brought up in the environment she needed to be brought up in. But then later on, she just had no bounds to her madness. And I think that's just it was just the writers being stupid. Honestly, it was just the writing being horrible. She ended up saying everyone needs to bend the knee, this and that, making promises of the Targaryen name behind it. And to be honest, that's all she had was a Targaryen name. She doesn't have any heirs. She couldn't have children ever again. All she had was 3 dragons that are not immortal, mind you. Dragons, obviously, they're very important, but they are not immortal. They can die. They bleed. But she didn't stop to listen to people, because they became part of what she wanted after that. And it just, I think for me, it was highlighting more of the problem of her in the beginning. You know, she was, especially when Jon Snow went to go see her, and she was like, oh, you're here to bend the knee. He was like, no. And then she was like, oh, well, you know what? Then you're like an open rebellion or something. And I'm just like, you're technically an invader now. You know, her whole story was, we're going to take back what was robbed from us. And to be fair, if she looked into her own history, she would see that she lost her how do I say, her family lost the kingdom the exact same way they won it. And so be like, you know what, it's fair. Aegon the Conqueror, he went out conquering everything, defeated everyone in battle, but then your father was defeated in battle and lost the 7 kingdoms. You have to accept it for what it is. You know, it was it was just very, it reminded me of a child who was just having a temper tantrum. That's why I hated the character. Like, even from the beginning, like I said, she didn't know any better. She was told a lot of stories from her brother, but I feel like the story of Marine, of just realizing that you can't just set people free without a backup plan, I feel like that should have lit something up in her and be like, okay, I need to take a look at what I'm doing wrong and what people really need. This is why I hated the character so much, because everyone was team Daenerys, and I was just like, no, she has no political training. She doesn't know how to lead people. She doesn't even know how to discern who's being honest with her. And this is what really pissed me off, because in reality, I feel like this just would have backfired completely. And then she just up and leaves Marine, abandons it with Dario. And did you vet Dario? Do you know if he would be a good leader? You just slept with him and that's it. So because he sleeps with you and it gives you a good time, he's a good leader. No. For me, it was just it was very, very childish. And I believe that if she was to be a proper ruler, she should have been like. I mean, again, she got advisors who know, but she still did everything that she wanted. And it's like, what was the point in having these advisors if you just don't listen to them? Um, and like I said, towards the end, again, like season 7 and 8, she just became so intolerable to me. She became so annoying. And again, I think that has to do more with the writing because everybody knows the writers just butchered the last seasons. it was just it was just horrible. The way she became psychotic and the way she was just like, oh, I'm gonna be the ruler and this and that. And to be fair, her traumas from the past are very valid, but it's how you learn from those traumas that makes you a good ruler. She seemed to be almost using her traumas as an excuse to have the seven kingdoms, and I was just like, no, you're not owed a kingdom. You have to prove yourself, because if you were to go in and take over, and you don't know how to rule the people properly, you become the very people you fought to overthrow. And that was one of the main things that I saw towards the end. She became exactly like Cersei, in my opinion. And some people were like, "Well, she did so much good." No, she abandoned the people that needed help, that needed structure. Before, and she couldn't prove herself as a proper leader. And this is what really annoyed me, because you say you want to help people, you say you want to bring them into a better future, but you abandon them at the first sight of getting something even grander just because you want it. And that was really just, it really killed me. It was just really annoying to me. So I really hated the Daenerys character. I do think she could have been written a little, I mean, not written, I mean, I'm pretty sure she was written fantastic in the book. I haven't really, I haven't read the book, of course, but in the TV show, I just feel like she could have had a little more common sense. Again, she wasn't raised that way. She was very naive, but I feel like it was just, no. I hated the character. I didn't like her. I mean, I didn't hate her like I did Joffrey or Cersei, but I really didn't think she was that whole, oh, great ruler that everyone made her out to be. She was not a good ruler, in my opinion, and she had a learning curve. Now, if she took a step back, I feel like she would have been a much more respectable ruler. I can't even speak. So, if you guys enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you think I am wrong, completely wrong, let me know. We can talk